start that now. Yep. So why don't we begin? If you're having trouble with this time, please let me know also. I did get a little bit of feedback, by the way, about the Monday evening being in competition with football. And I thought that was humorous for me, because that's exactly the reason I love Monday night, because that way I don't have to listen to the football game on the TV. So yes, I do recognize that for any number of reasons, this time can become challenging. But what I want to talk about for a minute today is the intention and commitment to practice. And so I think it is true, in fact, that we often are making difficult choices about where to invest our time, our energy, our love, our resources, financially, energetically, our heart, in terms of where to invest love, compassion, care, and patience. I do think there's a set of difficult choices. And as somebody personally who has not always made wise choices, and what I mean by that is it's not judgmental, it's that what I was hoping to get from it ended up not being as nourishing, as sustaining. It was not the ultimate sustenance that I had hoped it would be. And I can probably name, now that I'm a little bit older, about, well, let's say 50 Super Bowl parties, as an example, that really, the idea of connection was there, the idea of rooting for a team was there. I have a very sports-oriented family. Libby knows. We had a lot of fun competing and gambling over it. But there ultimately were consequences to that I think in many, many ways. With the fun, with the joy, with the excitement, with the energy, also had consequences that have not always been to the good. And I think it takes us a while to see that, doesn't it? Sometimes we have to see something 100,000 times in its many, many manifestations, in its many iterations, in its many disguises, before we recognize that the truth of a commitment to behavior or an action, a thought, a word, even in its seed form, has consequences. And so just a reminder that no matter what the time, whether it's 7, 7:30, or 8 p.m., we're all making certain commitments. One of the reasons that I'm so grateful to Leslie, and one of the reasons that it feels so wonderful to be able to do some of these practices on Zoom, is the fact that even if you can't, you just can't be here. And there are those realities as well. It's just not possible at that day or that time for any number of right reasons. Even when you can't, you can always then go to encinitasmindfulness.org under Zoom meditations and get the most current meditation practice. And Monday evenings are always up there. Ed is saying exactly the same about the football. You can always tape it and watch it later. Yeah, this is where commitment reveals itself. Ed, hopefully I gave you enough information about encinitasmindfulness.org. If you go there, you will click on Zoom Meditations, which is one of the tabs at the top. And at that top meditation, I believe now there are probably easily 30, 40, or 50 of the Sunday, Tuesday, and Saturday meditations and talks. And you are welcome at no charge to watch and listen to any of those. And always, by the way, feel free to check into a portion of that tape, but not do the whole thing. Maybe you want to do just the beginning instructions for a meditation. Well, I think that's fabulous. Maybe you want to do just a talk because the topic was interesting to you. I think that's fabulous. So never feel like, well, I need that 90-minute commitment. Sometimes I think we set ourselves up, all of us, don't we, with a certain perfectionism or a certain idea that we've got to do it all. And I think it keeps us from accessing what often can be useful. And again, Ed says, being with you is more precious than pigskin. My family would certainly take issue with that. A couple in particular, maybe not, but thank you so much. And so here we are, prepared to practice. So finding a comfortable posture, and I'm going to be sitting up because my voice works a little bit better with sitting. And for me, lying down in the evening, unless I am preparing for sleep, in which case I think it's delicious. It can be have a potential consequence for your alert attention, for any capacity for wakefulness. Now remember, that's not the primary purpose of evening meditation. It is actually, though, this. It is to enter the body. We're going to be doing that this evening. It is to soften, begin to rest, and restore the body even before sleep. It is also to settle, calm, and stabilize the mind for sleep. We don't need an overly active list making, judging, worrying, distressing, restless mind. It's not useful at this time of the evening. And we also then work to establish an open and peaceful heart, because the best way to rest, truthfully, whatever the body's doing at that moment, and I was struggling with some hip pain, as an example, just yesterday. I'd done an extra long walk, and I was feeling the hip for one of the first times. I'm like, uh-oh, this is likely to continue in some way or another. And my real work in the evening was just softening that area of the body, just embodying, wishing for my ease, for my calm, for peace and rest. And of course, whatever else was true in the area of the hip, what I noticed is that I could settle to be with it in the way that it was. So here we are, finding that posture for yourself, supported, in connection with the earth. Whether you're on a couch, a bed, mat, or chair, see if you can begin to make contact with the reality that you, with every breath, are being invited closer into contact with this earth, and softening up your own body so that you can make most contact. As we breathe out, we begin to soften, release, and relax the body. See if you don't notice for yourself the way the body begins to melt right into this stable base of the earth. And just continuing to allow that while we'll call to mind the aspirations and intentions for our practice today. I call to mind often the things I love and the things that I've made contact with, the noticing of suffering. And I invite all of that into the heart-mind, both the things I love and the truth of where I have noticed suffering, just in this one day. And I see if I can open equally to both as I'm recollecting them, not shying away, not shutting down, not turning on towards the good, the love, the possibilities, the awakening. I open wider to include the difficult, the challenged, the fear. Make contact with my own fear, my own impatience, my own uncertainty, my own weariness. And I hold it all in that vast, boundless, open heart. And then we invite the intention that this practice be of benefit to all beings everywhere without exception, which is a big, wide, open space. In fact, the biggest, widest possible, freeing us all. And so with Strike, we're going to begin our formal meditation practice. And so just finding your way into the body in whatever way feels easiest and best for you. I like to hold the whole body, like cradling a baby in your arms. You just feel the weight of the whole thing. And just make contact wherever you feel that to begin. And so we often begin with our feet, which are either on the ground or wrapped beneath us, in some way offering us a sense of that stable base. Actually feeling the way the earth invites the feet into contact. That's actually happening because of the earth, and not because of your feet. The earth drawing you near. Let the weight of the legs begin to draw down into the earth, relaxing, softening them, letting them dissolve any stiffness or tension, letting them liquefy, moving right through the feet of the earth, pouring yourself in. Making contact with the hips, feeling a sense of weight or space, the capacity for mobility, flexibility. It's not because we're moving, it's because we can feel that capacity right here in the hips. Breathing into the hip and without breath, softening, relaxing. Settle. And then moving the hips, the legs, the feet, liquefying it all and melting deep into the earth. The is with each breath, you're greeting a new hip, new legs, and new feet. There is actually nothing static, stuck. The hips, legs, are actually in a continual flow, letting them move into the earth as we release. Touching into the small back, the mid back, and the upper back. Breathing into these parts and then into the whole of the back. Gathering all the sensations there, and with that out breath, dissolving right down the body into the earth. Offering our own earthen body to Mother Earth herself. And if you're noticing a particular tightness, a little tension, seeing if you can't bring the attention to that area. Hold it for a moment. Invite that softening, that release. No resistance, no struggle. And let that tension liquefy. And with the out breath, moving it down in its liquid form to be received in the embrace of the earth. Feeling the shoulders, the arms, the hands. Making contact, feelings, sensations. And then with the next several out breaths, release that sense of solidness. It's actually a delusion. At best, you are a continually flowing stream of sensations, of atoms, of electrons, moving all about. Continuous stream. Held in awareness. Feeling that elongated neck, the weight of the head, whether the head's resting against a surface or being held in air. It's a miracle. And the whole of the universe is being held right here in this head, in this brain, in this mind. You don't have to look anywhere else. You are a part of this vast universe. See if we can relax into that space. Let it become colorless, ageless, timeless. There is no thought, there is no image that can control it. Simply a twinkling star. With each breath, we continue to open the awareness, expand, to hold this body and all that it is a part of. Not separate or distinct in any way. We are as much the space as we are the earth, as we are the stardust. Breathing down the front of the body, softening and relaxing as you go. And with each breath, breathing into the body, inviting the whole mind, one's whole attention. Down and into the breath space. And feeling that life pulse as it moves through the body, through the mind, deep into the earth or out into space. It's actually doing it all. This life pulse beating out in ever expanding waves. And being received in exactly the same way. And for just a moment, let's stay in contact and close to the breath, another source of refuge, a lifeline, that which connects you to everything. Not only life, but consciousness itself, shared by us all, owned by no one. The refuge of the earth, the refuge of the body, refuge of the breath. There's nothing to get rid of and nothing to make happen. And be a little cautious about this because as we begin to settle into the breath and into the open, still, vast space that is in all directions, both within and around us, one of the habits is to think that it'd be better if we got busy. And actually, that's just the egoic element of mind going, you know, I like to be entertained. Maybe there's something we could do while we're laying here. And actually, it is true. But the work is in the non-doing. The practice is in the simply residing in the presence and being. Letting the wave of the breath, the wave of life, move in and around and through. Calming the mind. And stilling the body. And at the end of the out breath, seeing if you can make contact, at least a little gap the little moment, the shunyata, the open emptiness at the end of the out-breath. This is the closest to the truth of us. No one name, no one face, no one body, no one, and completely one. Touch into the gap at the end of the out-breath. And let the awareness just expand. See where you notice the limit of the space, of the stillness, of the silence. Is there any limit to the openness, to the emptiness? We're actually breathing into emptiness and breathing out into emptiness. More space than matter in all directions. Feel into that spaciousness, not only as it relates to being beyond you, but see if you can make contact with the way it actually is operating within you. The way the body takes in oxygen. The way it nourishes the body. Continual flow. At the end of the out-breath, it is said that time and consciousness completely expand and merge. Time becomes timeless. The timeless, infinite now. Mind becoming most spacious. And as the mind takes the shape of that which it rests upon, open, vast, empty and luminous. This is also the intrinsic quality of the awakened heart. We move beyond the limited identity of the body. Not that the body doesn't keep doing exactly what it's doing, it's just fine. But we're not limited to this. And then there is this mind opening, expanding, making contact with all things, a part of all things. we can feel the freedom as we open, as we calm. As we simply rest in presence. And we have this very unique capacity, given this human incarnation, to not only rest in the vast open space, but to actually co create within it, to invite that open heart, the peaceable, loving, kind, and compassionate heart. This heart mind recognizes its kinship with everything. And forms intentioned, loving relationship with whatever we make contact with. We have to be completely present first. And from that presence, we can open completely engagement, embodiment, in presence, in love. Soften the body, open, spacious, clear seeing mind, most available, most engaged, most present, most loving heart. And these are enlivened with each breath. It's useful to remember that as we're simply breathing, making contact with the present moment, bringing our whole body, being, mind, and heart selves to this present moment. As we are doing so, we are most whole, most connected. We are no longer separated, no longer alone. We no longer need to fabricate fear or fear thoughts. And so we breathe the peaceable breath. We breathe the breath of that unity, that connectedness, that wholeness. It doesn't matter what happened today. It doesn't matter that you don't know what will happen next. There is only this present moment and our complete connection and unity with it. The peaceable breath of the present moment. The quiet mind of the present moment. The softened and restful body of the present moment. Wide open, spacious, and radiant heart of the present moment. All you, all yours, all now. And as you breathe in and you breathe out, you are unifying these elements. You're calling them all into presence and into being. There is no more nourishing a breath than this. And so in this one breath, we are gathering this body, heart, and mind. In the next breath, we are settling it into the one point of the open space. And on the third breath, we simply open to it all. We gather, we settle, or unify, and then we open. Open into wholeness, open into oneness, opening into the unity of all things, opening into the interconnectedness, opening into love and compassion, which requires that unity. Your own heart mind merging with the heart mind of all other beings. No longer separate, no longer alone, no longer struggling. We remember our true nature and our true home. And we no longer fear the open space. We no longer fear the no solid identity. We no longer fear the loss of the body because we remember that we were always more. Always and right now. A calm and awakened mind. A radiant, warmed, and loving heart. We breathe that. The more we can release into it, there is nothing to fabricate, the more we smile. In this most calmed, most unified, most loving present moment, we can then direct this resource and this refuge as we choose. So we've already made contact with all these sources. And so then we can turn it with intention, with care, towards that which needs healing, that which needs love, compassion, care. Once we gather it all, to use it well, this is skillful. So we can call to mind a moment of difficulty, one that you have experienced or one that you have witnessed another experience. And we can breathe these resources right over to them, or right into you, as the case may be. We can turn towards the truth of difficulty, of suffering, of loss, of confusion, of greed, ill will, or hatred, without being carried away by it. We are anchored to the greater truth. We are resting in that open space. That is still and silent. In the face of it all, we're not churned up, we're not knotted up. But what we can do is make an offering. And that often comes in those simple phrases. May I be well. May I be safe. May I be free from harm. May I live with ease. May I remember who I really am. Calling to mind another. May you be well. May you be safe. May you be free from harm. May you live with ease. May you remember who you really are. And act in accord. Calling to mind another who is in need of these well wishes, this goodwill, these blessings. May you be well. May you be safe. May you be free from harm. May you live with ease. May you remember who you really are. And gathering all those others, past, present, and future, gathering them into that vast, open, radiant space, the qualities of our own heart-mind. Offering this goodwill, these blessings, in all directions to all beings. May we all be well. May we all be safe. May we all be free from harm. May we all live with ease. May we all remember who we really are, a part of the whole, never to be divided or separated, never to be alone. And may we offer this practice to the end of suffering and the wish for true, abiding happiness and freedom. And this day is good. Let this day be done. So be it. Just expanding that awareness to whatever is right there around you. Maybe just gently beginning to stretch and open the body. And then opening and expanding the sense doors, the eyes, the ears. I want to thank you for practicing together this evening. I apologize for the blackened screen. Something I'll figure out hopefully between now and tomorrow. This hopefully will still, we were still recording, though looks like probably only have primarily audio. Hopefully that will be useful in some way. I'm going to scan here for just 1 second. I'm certain all of you are feeling pretty restful, hopefully, by now, and maybe you still get to do a little football if that was on your agenda this evening. It is definitely not going to be where I head after that particular practice. That's not going to be my territory, but it might be yours. Thank you again for joining. We will be here tomorrow at 7 a.m. for the Bodhisattva Path. I will be offering a guided practice this Thursday. Greg is out of a Wi-Fi area in the mountains this Thursday, so I will be offering a guided practice this Thursday a.m. at 7. And then we will be practicing together again on Saturday at 7:30. We have are looking for an open space in which to offer at least a half or whole day of mindfulness practice together outdoors, of course, being completely safe. And if we get to do it at Quest Haven, we're inquiring about that now. It would require masks, even at a safe distance. That's just their requirement until we're on a walking trail. But we're going to work with what we can. We're feeling that the time together is really important. I hope you will all put November 21st aside as we work closely to finding a space. And we know for sure that we have one. So we have one. We're just going to keep looking for now. But there has been an offer of a beautiful space. So worst case, we will be there, not at Quest Haven, but we thought we'd check with them first. And I hope you will put that aside to try to join us. A half day at the least. We're going to be doing a 9 to noon and then probably an afternoon time. We know not everyone can do that. And we don't know how many signups we'll get. So based on Quest Haven's limitations, we'll operate within that. I hope you have continued restful, wakeful evening, even as you head to sleep. And I will look forward to being with you again, hopefully very soon. Be well, everyone. Bows to you. Thank you so much. Yes, the Dalai Lama is having his summit starting, I think it's this Thursday, possibly. Let me see, where are we? 19, 20, 20. Yeah, the 22nd, the Dalai Lama Summit. If you haven't signed up for it or need a link, let me know. There will be beautiful offerings made during that Zoom offering. Thank you so much, Ed, for reminding me about that also. And anybody who needs the link, just let me know. Blessings to everyone. Have a beautiful evening. I'll look forward to being with you and practicing with you again soon. Have a good night.